Good morning. Welcome to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. We are in our series Profiles in Life and Success. It's Women's History Month, so of course that means we are profiling amazing women. And I have a trio of amazing women with me today. You're familiar with Adellabella Scarpa because they were a tremendous asset to our girls program, How to Be a Girl, last summer. They were such a supportive partner. They're the ones, remember the pink and black polka dot shoe boxes that we have up on my webpage? Those come from Adellabella Scarpa. They do shoes, custom clothing, plus a whole lot more. Talk about touching lives. They're also a cornerstone of the after-school program in Hacienda La Puente School District, a cornerstone of the adult education program in that same district, and a cornerstone in many of the things that I am a part of and believing in that are coming up this year that you guys will hear so much more about. But what I want you to do is understand their cornerstone and what they come from and why they come from it. It all starts with their mother. So we have two generations with us here today. We've got Mama. Good morning, Mama.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good. And then Monica and Anne Marie of Adellabella Scarpa.
Hello, and thank you for having us this morning.
Good morning. We're excited to be here, and especially with Mom.
Yeah. Mama, it is so wonderful to have you here. Now, these women are very successful. They do amazing things for the community. They do amazing things to touch people's lives. And they turn and say, it's all because of you.
Well, I'm glad that they give me credit, even though I don't think I deserve it. But I'm very proud to be their mother. I just couldn't be any prouder.
Well, you know, if you go to hot923.com, keyword Josefa, right now you're going to see the most adorable Dora the Explorer dress that they made for my little Sabelita. They made it for her, and you'll see a picture of her in that dress. But that came from Mom, right? You actually know how to custom make these clothes.
Well, I had to do it in such a short time because I didn't know the girls were going to see you. So I got up in the morning, I cut it, and about an hour and a half, I put it together.
Well, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So how long have you been sewing?
As far as I remember, I was about 7 years old when I started doing like little things for my dolls, sewing by hand because my mom wouldn't let me touch the sewing machine. And I've always loved to sew. And I heard one time they say that if you work on what you like, you'll never, and get paid for it, you never work a day in your life. So that's the way I feel. I love what I do.
So let's talk a little bit about you, Mom. Where you came from, how you came to be here, and how you came to be the amazing woman that you are.
Well, thank you. I was born in Aguascalientes, Mexico. I was brought to this country when I was 15. And the first thing that happened to me was exciting to come because when you live in Mexico, you used to think that the United States was like heaven. But then you get here and you don't understand the language. You're lost, completely lost. So what I thought to myself, the only way I can integrate in this country is if I go to school. So I got here December the 21st, 1955. January the 3rd, I went and enrolled myself in Roosevelt High School, adult education. I went there for 6 years. Every night, rain or shine, I would be there. And as I started understanding a little bit, I would have a magazine like True Confessions, whatever I could get my hands on. I read it. And if I didn't understand a word, I will underline it and then go to an English-speaking person and say, what is this? How do you say it? How do you pronounce it? What does it mean? I was hungry for English because I knew that was my only way I could succeed in this country. I saw that there was no other way. So then I met my husband, a wonderful man that I've been married to for 46 years.
Whoa, 46 years.
Yes, and 3 years dating. So that was 49 years of my life. Wow. I've given him. Well, so then he would take me to the movies, and I would always go ask to go to the English speaking movies because I could. There were things that I didn't understand, but he will always interpret to me, which the people next to us were not too happy.
Right.
But that's how I did it. And then we got married, and I had 4 beautiful children. I had my 2 beautiful daughters. Then I always made sure that they went to school, that we encouraged them to learn. And that's the way it all went. We just, now they're all grown up, and I'm very proud of them.
They're doing lots of good things, huh?
Yes.
That must makes you feel really good when you see them giving back in the community like that.
Yes. One thing we emphasized to them when they were little, give. We used to take them to Tijuana to an orphanage, and they used to play with the kids there. And my husband would paint the place. We would take a lot of food, and we would spend a day with them. It was an outing for my children, and at the same time, the other kids were happy. So we always made sure that I always told the kids, when you give, you always get back. And even the satisfaction. My mom always used to say that. Don't ever let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I try to instill in my kids, and that's what they're doing now.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges of raising girls today, and what can we do to help young women?
Be close to them. Talk to them. Let them talk. Listen to what they say. When Monica was dating, I always went, well, not always, but a lot of times I went with them because they invited me. And Marie, I always knew what they were doing. There were times that I would kind of hold my breath, what they said, but then it wasn't ever something really, really bad. And make the house a happy home. Make them know that there's their home. I always let them know how proud I was. I always thought they were beautiful, or they are beautiful. And I don't know if we forget, but I never had big problems. The normal thing that they're fighting over what side of the bed are they going to sleep in, but not the normal thing. But try to understand them. Don't judge them. You let them know what is expected of them, and then it's up to them. And then watch their association. It's another thing. My husband and I always took him fishing. We took him camping. We had a motorhome or a station wagon, and we always carried them and their friends. We always had their friends at my house. So I enjoy my children. I love my children. People laugh when I tell them that every time there was a funeral, I would bring my kids, dress them up, and show them up to all the family, because when all the family gets together, and that's it. Just love your children. Don't judge them. Nowadays things are a little different, but you still have to let them know that you love them, that they're the most important thing to you. Besides your husband.
Besides, yeah. To throw that in real quick because he's probably listening.
Because if you don't, you might end up with a man that you don't know anymore.
Right.
Your children grow up and leave, and it's life.
Right.
So you have to love your husband too. But that's it.
What would you say? Give me one big obstacle that you had to overcome as a woman.
I was molested when I was 8 years old by my brother-in-law. And there was something that I never told anybody, because when I was little, he would always say, that's our secret. He would always give me presents. They make you believe that they're good, and you're so naive. Then at 13, when my parents died, they died within a year from each other. Then the story changed. It wasn't our secret anymore. It was, you can't say anything because you don't have anybody to go to. Because it was true. All my brothers were here, and it was only my sister that was living there. And you're so afraid. And then he will tell me, all your friends are doing the same thing. If you ask them, they're going to tell you. But they're going to tell about you. And you're so afraid of what people is going to say, especially that I used to live in a little village in Mexico, what I call a rancho, that you're trapped. I went one time and I told the priest what was happening to me. And he told me he was going to help me, but he never did, because nothing ever happened. But when I came to this country, I said to myself, you're not going to touch me anymore. And that's what, I don't know if I can say this, when hell broke out. Because 3 times I had to hit him. I tried to stay away from him, never be in the same place, but he would always manage. So one time I was doing the dishes and he came from behind me. There was nobody home. And I had a glass in my hand. I hit him so hard that if I had had a knife, I would have probably stabbed him. But, and then I started screaming. And my family knew. They heard what happened, but no, nobody said anything. So then I was, like I say, I was going to school at night. Oh, no, before that, one time I went to the movies with my friend. And when I came home, my sister was all beat up. And I asked her, what happened? She didn't answer. So then I asked my little niece, I said, what happened? She said, my daddy hit my mom. So then I found out that he got mad because I had gone to the movies. And he hit my sister. So then I told my sister I was going to live with my brother and his wife, which I did. But I continued going to school. And because it was night, we were never surprised to see him from behind a tree or behind a fence. One time we went to a Christmas party. And I started talking to these young men. I was only 16 by this time, well, about 15 and a half. And I was talking to these young men. So then he went away and then he came back and he says, hey, he says, that man over there told me that not to be talking to you, that he's going to get me. And I look at him and I said, don't believe it. I said, he's crazy. Well, the boy went away, but then he hit him with a bottle. He broke a bottle in his forehead and the man came out from another room full of blood. So then, by this time, I was living with my brother. But as like I say, he was always showing up from behind a tree, and by this time, he will call me a whore in Spanish, which sounds worse. Mm-hmm. So then I went to a priest again, and I told him what was happening. And he says, tell your brothers. I said, I can't. I said, what are they going to think? So he says, okay. He says, if he approaches you again, tell him you're going to call the police. You're going to report him. So I did. When next time I saw him and I told him, I said, you stop bothering me or else I'm going to report you. It seemed like the devil. When I said police, he flew and never saw him again. Because then I was living with my brother. But that problem ended. My problem was that I never told anybody. My sister had a miscarriage when she found out that what had happened. And I knew it was my fault that she lost her baby. Then she got a divorce. She had two girls. They didn't have a father, and it was also my fault. How could I have betrayed my sister when she was like a mother to me? So that was my fault.
So this is what other people are saying.
No, that's what I was saying. That's
you
what
put
I'm
yourself
thinking.
Through this? Oh,
I never
gosh.
told anybody. I was thinking the miscarriage of my sister, the girls being without a father, her divorce, me betraying my sister that was like a mother to me because she was always good to me. So I had all this. Then I had my girls. And I used to think, how can I tell my girls what happened? What are they going to think of me? How can I tell them not to do something wrong when I did it? Because I always believed that it was my fault. One time I told my sister, what do you think of little girls that are molested? And she says, you know what? She says, they like it. Because if they didn't, they will tell the parents. So I said to myself, well, yeah, maybe I did. Because you're so mixed up, you're so... Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until one day I was watching a program, I don't know if I can say the name, Oprah, and she was talking about when she had been molested by her uncles. And I'm sitting there and what she's saying, she said, I thought I was going to die if anybody knew what I had done. And I said to myself, yes, I feel that everything that she was saying, it was me. So then I said, yeah, that's true. And then she said, I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to do it. So, and I'm listening, and I said, that's true. I would have never done that. Mm-hmm. So as time went by, one day Monica was the one that was talking about a friend of hers that had been molested, and I started crying. And she says, what happened, Mother? And I had the courage to say what had happened to me. And now... I can't believe it. I'm saying this, but the reason I'm doing it is because I know there is a lot of women out there, grandmas, mothers, aunts, that had been molested by somebody and are keeping it. The day you say it, you free yourself.
There's more on this story coming up, and then a follow-up with Dr. Gilda on the Community Review, Hot 92.3. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Community Review on Hot 92.3. I'm Josefa Salinas, your host. Today we have a very, very moving story on Profiles in Life and Success. We're talking to an amazing woman, the mother of the amazing Adellabella Scarpa ladies, Anne-Marie and Monica, their mother, telling us her story of molestation. Mama, tell us again, how do you feel now that you have told the world, you told your family, everyone knows finally the secret that you had to hold in all of those years? What has that done for you?
I can stand in the top of a mountain and say I was molested and I wasn't my fault. I didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. But they brainwashed. I was a hostage for so many years. Because you are a hostage. You are... Right. These men have so much control over you. Mm-hmm. And until the day that you can say it and say it loud, and for all of you women out there that have been molested by their father, their uncles, their brothers, their friends, a family friend, because it isn't the boogeyman that comes and molested, it's the one in the family, somebody right. that knows them. Mm-hmm. So my thing was that when I was caged into this little cage where I was miserable for 60-some years, I was watching my kids. My kids were not allowed to spend the night in anybody's house because I was so afraid that something would happen to them and they won't tell me. And that's why now I beg of all the women out there, tell, because those men don't stop. We have to stop them because the family is the one that they protect these child molesters. And even if they're 60 years old, 100 years old, if they're a child molester, they're going to continue molesting people, kids.
Right.
And if I can save one little girl, I did my job.
Well, you've done an amazing job this afternoon.
Well, I just hope that my story, which is sad, because I can't believe it. I can't believe that I'm not crying because I cry every time I think of it. I was crying on the way home, on the way over here. But you know, something that we have to talk. We have to, unless these men know that they're not going to be covered up, because these men just passed away. And I'm hoping that one day I can forgive him. I hope, for my own sake. Mm-hmm. But as of now, no, I can't. I still have a lot of anger, but see what happens.
Well, I hope that you can, because the day that you can forgive him is the day that it will no longer be with you. As long as you don't forgive, it's going to stay with you. And so you have to release it and let it go.
One thing that helped me a lot, Anne-Marie gave me a book, and Ancestor Survivor, and I've been reading it. Every story is the same. Mm-hmm. The men use the same techniques. They tell you it's our secret. They're good to you. You think they're good to you. They give you presents. They make you feel that, they love you. And when you're little, you want that.
You don't. Yeah. You don't know that it's wrong.
Well, you don't. You know that it's something that is not normal. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you don't understand. It's now that I think, how could I put up with it? How you don't understand. It's something that is so hard to understand, and that's why any little girl that is molested now, tell the teacher, tell the mother. If the mother doesn't believe, tell the grandma, tell anybody, but tell, because it's the only way we're gonna stop these men.
Most definitely. Well, we'll make sure that we've got some links up to some organizations where if you're out there and you need help, or you have just want to talk to somebody, there are hotlines available that you can call in and talk. And we'll have Dr. Gilda coming up next to give her professional opinion on this particular subject and how you can help to heal yourself if you are a victim of molestation. And we encourage you to tell someone. And thank you so much for being brave enough to share your story with us, because look at how amazing you still turned out. And look at these amazing daughters that you have.
I have my girls, and that's the biggest gift that God has given me. My girls, my boys.
Most definitely.
Yes.
And Josefa, what we want you, our mother is incredible, and Anne-Marie and I are both so blessed. The three of us are best friends, and looking back at our childhood, it was the best. My mom, every night we had before I went to bed, she'd come in my room and we would talk. And, as I got older, there wasn't one thing I couldn't tell her. And if I had one wish, and now that I'm a mom, don't miss out on that opportunity with your daughters. I remember when I was in 7th grade and I got my first yearbook. And I went through the pages and I said, Mom, guess what boy I like? And she went through the pages with me. And when she found the one that I, was so scared when she picked the guy that I liked in my 7th grade class. And she had such a way of allowing me to express myself. And then a few days later, remind me of when I was young, focus on school, remembering that I was too young to date. And those were priceless moments because it allowed me to be me, and I didn't have to go behind her back and do things. I could come home many times, tell her something I did do, but I knew she had my back. And that is the best feeling in the world. And I tell my husband constantly, if I could put my mom in a jar and just multiply her formula of being a mom and know that we had an amazing childhood. And it was really hard after I had my little girl to hear her story. It really cut deep because it was someone that I just think the world of that was so hurt. So it was really hard.
My mom mentioned how she was afraid of the way we would react to her story as her daughters. And I'll never forget when she started to tell us what had happened to her. And I thought, my goodness, I hugged her and I said, you are the most powerful woman I know. She's self-taught. She's driven. If anybody has her eye on the prize and achieves it, it is our mother. There isn't a thing in life that she hasn't looked at, thought of, and achieved. And I told her, we are the product of that strength, that inner strength, that as tragic as your childhood was, losing one parent is tragic. Losing two is unimaginable. And then you add molestation on top of that. Most people will never have to feel that. But she underwent that and came out a survivor and gave us the tools for us to be powerful women. I remember her saying, if you want to be the president of this great country, you can do it. The only thing standing in your way is you. And that is the power that we grew up with. Her influence on being generous. There isn't a person that ever needed clothes that came to our home that my mom wouldn't whip out an outfit that she designed and had them leave clothed with it. She's just a phenomenal woman. And if there's a positive side to any of this, she became a self-made person with just incredible gifts, incredible character, and someone that we enjoy daily, that I wish that people will get a chance to know her, because I guarantee you she will make a dress for you or a jacket for you.
Right.
She will make you laugh. She will feed you. She kept true to our Latina culture, but also our American life, and taught us to be women that we could be strong and change the world.
And that you're doing with Adellabella Scarpa, with the shoe company. For every pair of shoes that are bought, they give a pair of shoes away. They gave shoes to all 50 of the girls who were in the conference. All of them left with, "You rock, I matter." Shoes that were just amazing. And let's talk about the custom clothing. If somebody would like a custom outfit made, where can they go right now online to get some information? Because the custom work that they do, I'm telling you right now, go to hot923.com, keyword Josefa, so that you can see this custom-made Dora dress that they made for my little Sabi. And then go to their website and see if you can get something made for yourself. And that website would be?
It's www.aldabella, which is ALDABELLA, Scarpa, SCARPA.com. And we have a location in Covina at 832 North Grand. And if you dream it up, we'll make it happen. And that's our motto. And I've got an incredible mom that has just within these past few weeks has created a lot of people's dreams that have come in with multiple pictures that they've pieced together. And
Like, I want
she's
these
made
sleeves,
it
but I want this
Absolutely.
bodice, and I want the skirt to look like this, but I need it to be in this color.
And add the embroidery because we want it with their name on it. So she does. And there's not one job we've turned down. And I know it's just the whole motto with our company. We make it all happen, and we may have to work a little harder, a few extra hours, but you know, even when it comes to fabrics that people in their mind will dream up, we've been able to create it by embroidering it, you know, locating the design and putting it on, you know, a beautiful white cotton and making their dream come alive. So yes, come on in. We specialize in custom clothing, the shoes that complement it with socks and hair bows, everything that we imagined for our little girls and what we grew up with. That was what our mom did for us.
Very nice. Well, congratulations on being an amazing profile in life and success. And I am so proud to call you my hermanas.
Definitely humbles us to be your hermana. Together,
And we met
all
by
make
chance.
a difference.
You know, it's like destiny. I
It
was
was.
emceeing an event that you guys won an award at, and that's where the first introduction came. And it has just snowballed into so many social commitments that we are changing things in the community together. And it was meant to be.
Absolutely was. And having you on board, your energy, your enthusiasm continues our dreams and inspires us to keep moving forward. Our newest focus is to collaborate with the after school program, get these kids who are taggers, or I like to refer to them as urban artists, and start designing shoes so that they can learn how to give back and support their communities. So we are so
cool.
excited about creating programs for these kids in these communities and giving back on a larger scale. And
then I know
all
the great vision is to have a manufacturing company here in
City of Industry.
That's right. Where
Yes.
we actually make the shoes here.
Yes.
Imagine the jobs that we'll be able to create then.
Yes. So we already have our eye on the building. We see the production and all the jobs that we can create for this great state.
Very
and all
good.
thanks to Mom and Dad and the great people who have become our family now, like you.
Very good.
Yeah, and we just want to add not only being blessed with an incredible mom, we've got the best dad in the world.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's obvious that
And
Dad's right there a part of all of
he
this,
is,
too.
shows up every day, and highlight is where we're going to have lunch. So our days, you know, we have to add on the extra hours during the day at night sometimes. But Amory and our, you know, along with our two brothers, are truly blessed and have the best parents in the world.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, you know, we are the typical family. We were born and raised here in this great community, and these stories are happening everywhere. Our family just chose to look at the positive effects, and we pulled together and we found the great out of the sadness that happened, and we decided that we were going to support each other and we were going to empower other people, and that really is what we do. So moms or sisters that have gone through a tragedy of molestation, say something. Reach out to us. We're here. We've been through that. And we want to share with you that you can be powerful. You can make a difference. And it isn't the end of the world.
Mom, any closing comments?
Just for everybody that has been molested to please come out and say it. Because if you don't do it, nobody's going to do it, and those men are going to continue. Think that if you can save one little girl, it'll be worth it.
Well, ladies, thank you so much. Mom, thank you for coming down and sharing your story, for releasing a little bit. I think you're that much closer to forgiveness. I believe it. I believe it with all my heart that you are, because when you release that, that'll be the final letting go of all of that, and it'll be behind you. And so hopefully Dr. Gilda will have some advice up next and how to get through this. And again, we'll make sure that we've got all the links up for hotlines, for groups, organizations that you can call to get more information if you have been a victim of molestation, or if you know someone who has, how you can help them get through this awful tragedy and turn their life around, like these amazing family and these incredible profiles on life and success. www.adellabellascarpa.com. And of course, all that information will be up on my webpage at hot923.com. Keyword Josefa. Hermanas, Mama, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us over.
There couldn't be a more true profile of life and success. Mama Adellabella and the Adellabella Scarpa sisters. Make sure you go check them out, www.adellabellascarpa.com. That link will be up on my page at hot923.com. Keyword Josefa. The most beautiful custom-made clothing you will ever see. Go check them out. Coming up next, Dr. Gilda is going to give her perspective on today's topic. We'll also hear about that walk for kids for the Ronald McDonald House, and the TV show Buried for Life has something really cool going on to help us out right here in LA. It's all next on the Community Review Hot 92.3.